let's see what you had to say about all of this, and that being the listener or reader. Thank you for everybody that submitted all of our things here. I'm not going to read because we got so much feedback this time. I really appreciate that. I'm going to put most of the feedback on the blog. We'll cover up over the highlights there. The first question was, did Penn State overachieve, underachieve, or meet your preseason expectations? 57% said overachieve, and 37% said met expectations. I put overachieve because I said they were going to go 10-2, and they went 11-1.
Okay. So 94% of the people are happy.
Yeah, and then there's
generally
6% that said underachieve, and I don't. I guess you're mad that they didn't win a national championship. What? I don't know. I didn't have them there.
Don't bite the hand that listens to the podcast and responds.
I didn't have them there. Okay. This one I made up from last year. I maybe we'll refine this one, but overall, how would you describe Penn State's 2024 season? And we were looking for a one-word answer, and I gave you 4 options. Those options were amazing, good, fine, and disappointing. Most of the votes went between good and amazing. Good won with 52%, and amazing was second with 43%.
Wow.
I think I answered good on that one. Because I think amazing probably maybe is like they get to the national championship game, and I think good would have been like I was good. And I couldn't pick. Nobody could. I don't know that I could pick fine, and disappointing again. You must have been in that 6%.
6% for disappointing too?
No, it's 3% for disappointing. Okay. So not adding up there.
It's a very happy group there. We've got 90-some% in the top 2 for those 2 answers.
Yeah, I think this is overall, that's the theme. So this next question is one of our repeat questions. We have about a few of those, but we had these, and when I say repeats, these are from last year's. There's a whole scientific reason why we included these questions. On a scale of 1 to 5, how confident are you that Penn State can make the college football playoff next year? For context, the average answer last year was a 3.8. This year, a 4.4. Oh, very good guess. That was good. The highest rated was 5 with 54%. So more than half are yes, they're making the college football playoff.
We've now seen this happen.
And then 34% said 4. And nobody said 1. Nobody doesn't think it. Nobody thinks. Okay. There were 2% said 2. That was the lowest answer. All right. This is the one that we put in last year to referendum of James Franklin. On a scale of 1 to 5, how confident are you that Penn State can win a national title under James Franklin? Last year's answer was a 3.1. This year's answer, 3.6.
Oh, only that much. Okay. I didn't think it was going to be super high. Okay.
So 4 was the most common answer at 32%. However, 5 was up from 17% to 29%. So almost 100%, like an 80% jump there. And then 3, which was last year's most common answer, was at just 20%. So then that finished third in all of this. However, the 1 beat the 2, and by 4%. So it was a 12% on what said 1. So I think that's. I think people saw proof in the pudding, and I think that's why there was a rating bump, if you will. Okay. Next one was for people either that haven't seen Penn State win a national championship or have, if they will, after this. It was, how confident are you that Penn State will win a national title in your lifetime? So 1 more national championship, basically. The average answer last year, 3.5. This year, 3.7. Really slim margins of difference there. 5 was the number 1 answer at 32%, and I think it was about the same last year when we asked that question. However, down 10% this year was 1, or down from 10% was 1. So 10% of people said 1 last year. Only 3% said 1 this year.
Okay.
A little bit more optimistic.
These are some happy people.
Yeah. All right. Media outlets. In the we have an upset. We have a pretty big upset. Again, this is just all fan decided don't take this that seriously if you're reading this or looking at this and you work for one of these publications. Our preseason champion is in the 5 spot. Blue White Illustrated finished 5th this year.
Okay.
4th, Onward State. 3, The Athletic / Audrey Snyder. Like Audrey Snyder's coverage. Number 2, Penn Live. I think they appeared in the top 5 last year as well. And number 1 was Lions 247 this year. So congratulations to them on winning something.
Good get out the vote effort on their part.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what it boiled down to. Okay. We also asked about what like the average stars that you would give the networks. So like give an Uber rating for the networks. One modification this year, because essentially 3 Penn State games appeared on ESPN. I included ESPN. Did not include ESPN last year. So we don't have a barometer there. Most of these are within like a point or 2 of where they finished, except for one of which. So the lowest rated is unsurprisingly Fox, and it was at 2.3. More on that in a minute.
Their average star rating is 2.3.
Yes.
Right? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah. Average for BTN was 3.5, and it was razor thin. It was basically a rounding situation. That's how much ESPN beat BTN by with a 3.6. Okay. So that leaves 2 networks that Penn State games appeared on this year ahead of that. Which one do you think finished first?
I think CBS finished first.
You're
I don't
wrong.
know if that's what I believe, but I think that's. I would have picked NBC, but
NBC was what I would have also picked. Okay. So NBC finished with the 3.8. That's effectively what they had last year.
Right.
CBS went from I think second to last year, because Fox also had a 2.3 last year, to 3.7. They jumped up a lot. I think.
Well, they got to know them. They got to know them a little more. They've seen a few more games there. Yeah.
I think that was really what happened. So that's kind of it for the media stuff there, except for some very thoughtful ones, and then several of you that just had the F word and then either Gus Johnson, Fox, or Big Noon attached to it, which just love that. The highlight of those types of ones was love listening to Jack Ham. Fox sucks. I tried to give them 0 stars, but it wouldn't let me submit. We'll try to fix that for next year.
That's great.
Season moment. A lot of people said the second interception. Some people said the first interception. A lot of people just called out the entire USC game and then also highlighted Tyler Warren's performance in that. Someone gave a shout out to Tyler Warren's one-handed catch against Kent State, which I think probably in terms of ESPN highlight plays probably is that play of the year. I think that catch was so impressive. There was a very thoughtful answer from someone that said, I grew up a Penn State fan, as both my parents are alums, but I'm a freshman at Purdue this year. Obviously, we struggled this season, so I still followed State closely. I went to the Big Ten Championship and the Orange Bowl with my dad and loved every minute of it despite the losses. And I thought that was very sweet. And then there was someone who knew how to grind my gears and then just said the 4th quarter flag was their season highlight. I think that's pretty much everything. We'll have more of those kind of shared answers. So censored some of them down. But yeah,
it's great that people respond. Yeah, thanks for people if you're listening this far and respond, taking your time. That's great.
No, I think all of that was about where I was at with all of that. I think would be the best way to say that.